what's going on, everyone? My name is Donovan, and today I want to talk about what it's like to use the brand new Apple AirPods Pro as a runner, and specifically I'll be comparing it up to the second gen AirPods that I've been using for a few months now, basically since they were released. I've been using the second gen AirPods, and before that I was using the original AirPods for running about 90% of the time that I go out for a run. Pretty much the only time I don't use one of these while I'm running is if I'm testing out a different pair of true wireless earbuds. Alright, so that being said, the reason I know the Apple AirPods are incredibly popular for runners is because I went to the Detroit Marathon and a lot of other races that I go to, and I just see people wearing these all the time while they're in races even. So let's go ahead and talk about whether it's worth it as a runner to upgrade from either the Gen 1 or Gen 2 AirPods up to the AirPod Pros. So let's go ahead and talk about the price point first. So first things first, it's important to note that the AirPods Pro are going to be at least $50 more expensive than the second gen AirPods. So these are $199 as you see the ones that I have because I bought the wireless charging case. If you decide not to get the wireless charging case, it's only $159, and the AirPods Pro come in at $249, and you're going to get the wireless charging case whether you want it or not because that's the only way that they are available. Alright, so now I want to go ahead and talk about the two biggest concerns I had when purchasing the AirPods Pro from a runner's perspective. So the first one's going to seem not all that important, and I'm going to tell you why. And honestly, my biggest concern was the size of the case. So one thing I love about the AirPods is the fact that this little case can easily fit inside a fifth pocket, so I can take them out with me on any day and just walk around with them and not even think about the fact that they're in my little fifth pocket. And I was worried that that's not going to be the case with the AirPods Pro. Well, I'm happy to say that this fits in my pocket just as well as the original AirPods when it comes to the case. It's really not as big as everyone's kind of making it out to be. It's really not a whole lot bigger than the original AirPods case, and so I really have no problem with it. I'll compare it up to like the Samsung Galaxy Buds case. So you can see the Galaxy Buds case is actually significantly thicker, a little bit longer, maybe not quite as wide here, but definitely a little bit bigger. Here it is next to another pair of popular true wireless earbuds. These are the Jabra 65Ts. You can see it's pretty much very similar to this one, but not as thick. So this one doesn't quite fit in my fifth pocket, whereas the AirPods Pro do. Alright, so that out of the way, let's talk about the second biggest concern I had, and that is when running with them, will they slip out of my ears? So first of all, let me just say that the original AirPods, I've never had these slip out of my ears during a run. About the only way you ever have them slip out of your ears is if you accidentally knock them, because there is no way that they securely fit in your ear. So if you accidentally like bump them or something, maybe they could fall out of your ears, but I've personally never had that happen. I know some people talk about that happening to them. It's never personally happened to me. So I was a little bit worried with the AirPods Pro that they would possibly slip out of my ears, and I'm happy to say that so far I've not had any issues. I've gone on 3 different runs now with them, so I've had them for 3 days, gone out for 3 runs, and so far no issues. They fit very securely in my ears, so no issues there. So now let's talk about why you'd want to pick up the AirPods Pro, because both of my concerns were definitely not issues when it comes to running. So one of the things that makes the original AirPods really nice for running is the fact that even though I kind of prefer having some noise isolation in general day-to-day settings, these do not have any noise isolation. So if I'm in a busy office, it makes it nice because I can hear things going on around me, but at the same time, if I'm on a phone call using these, which by the way, both of these are fantastic for phone calls, but I can still hear things going on around me, so it can be a little bit distracting, whereas over here, I can turn on the active noise canceling, and I don't have to hear everything going on around me. Now, when you're running, obviously you want to be able to hear things going on around you. You don't want to be out there on the road not being able to hear traffic or things going on around you. So it's nice to be able to have that transparency or having some of that outside noise coming in. And so that's another great thing about the AirPods Pro is that you can switch easily from active noise canceling over to that transparency mode. So we'll go ahead and show you that real quick. I'll show you on my iPhone. You've probably seen this already, but here in the settings, we'll come into the AirPods Pro. And then you can see here that right now I have it turned off. That's only because they're not in, but then you can easily switch over to transparency mode or noise cancellation. So that's really easy to do. You can also do that with a long press of one of the earbuds. So you just choose one, or you can choose both of them. So you can see that press and hold AirPods. So I have it on the left to open up Siri, and on the right it's going to change it the noise control. So it goes from noise cancellation to transparency mode. That's the only option. Obviously we have automatic ear detection in, and then of course the microphone is automatically switches over to the microphone on the headphones. So that is one thing you didn't get over here with the old AirPods. So that transparency mode is fantastic for running, but then there are situations where you want that active noise cancellation. Maybe you're in a busy office setting like me, and on phone calls it's great to have that. All right, so we've talked about kind of more running specific things. Now let's talk about some of the other differences between these two. So first of all, battery life. They talk about how this one has 5 hours and then a total of 25 hours with a charging case. Basically about the same over here. 4.5 hours is what they're saying if you're using active noise cancellation or transparency mode, and then 5 hours if you have it completely turned off. The fit, I was a little bit concerned with the fit, obviously, because I really like the fit of the original AirPods. These also fit very well in my ears. Again, no slipping out at all. Haven't had any issues with that. I will say that these get a little bit more uncomfortable to wear for a long period of time, so I found that with these I can pretty much have them in my ears, never even notice that they're there. Sometimes I even forget that they're in my ears, whereas over here in the AirPods Pro, just because of how big this piece is right here that goes into your ear, I do find that after a couple hours, maybe 3-4 hours of wearing these, I do start to notice, especially just right here, this piece pushing up against my ear. It's not a big deal. It's just that I don't even notice these in my ear, whereas I do actually feel like I physically can feel these in my ear when I'm wearing them. So that's just a slight negative to the AirPods Pro. I definitely wouldn't think that's a deal breaker with them, but something to keep in mind. But then the fit is also customizable because of course they have the different size ear tips. So in the package you get 3 different size ear tips. I'm using the medium size ones. I didn't even have to take these ones out because I went ahead and ran the fit test, because if you go into that same spot here, you can see that there is an ear tip test, and of course it's not going to work for me right now, but you put them in your ear, you go ahead and hit continue, and then it's going to run through it. Now obviously for me, because I don't have them in my ear, it's not going to work at the moment, but that's how you're going to run that fit test, and for me the medium size tip worked perfectly. So overall, is it worth it to pick up the AirPods Pro? I would say if you have the extra money, it's nice. The active noise canceling and the transparency mode's fantastic. The sound quality is just slightly better. I wouldn't say that it's a huge difference, but you do get kind of that more surround sound kind of feel with these because they fit a little bit more securely in your ear. They go a little bit deeper in your ear. You do get a little bit more bass with these as well, but still a very good sound signature, just like the AirPods, but the difference here is that the AirPods, because you don't have that more secure fit, you're not going to get as much of a surround sound feel like you're at the concert with the original AirPods. But overall, both of them are fantastic. If you have the original AirPods and you're happy with them, I would say it's probably not worth it to upgrade to the AirPods Pro, but if you have the money, go ahead and get them, because the AirPods Pro I definitely recommend. I really like them overall, and hopefully I hope this video has been helpful for you if you're thinking about picking up the AirPods Pro and upgrading from the original AirPods. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.